Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about My Heart Can't Beat Unless You Tell It To, which is a mumble gore film that dares to ask the question, how far is too far for family?
That pretty much sums it up.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. The basic premise of this is it is three siblings who have obviously, for whatever reason, the parents aren't there anymore, and they're kind of stuck together, and two of the siblings are older, and they are taking care of their sick brother. Now, I'm not sure whether or not I want to tell you what the brother has, because that's one of the more interesting parts about the movie.
Yeah.
But needless to say, he's got more than just a, terminal illness. He's got something pretty bad.
Yeah.
And it is so bad, in fact, that in order to sustain him, there are sacrifices that must be made. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So you have the main character, Dwight, who is basically, he's reached his limit of the amount of people he's willing to kill for his family, and the movie's basically about him struggling with whether or not he is going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
With an overbearing sister who's kind of become like the controlling mom in the situation.
Yes.
And the brother who is just so helpless that you almost reach this point where you're just like, no, he's that helpless and you have to kill people to keep him alive?
Put him out of his misery,
I
man.
feel like at that point, like euthanasia is for lack of a better way of putting it, it is a blessing on the rest of humanity that you do it at that point.
Yeah, he seems to think so too.
Oh God, yeah. Well, because he's struggling with that too. He's going back and forth throughout the movie of because he loves his brother and he loves his sister, but how long can they keep doing this? And he starts to feel for some of their victims throughout this movie, right?
Yeah.
There are some of these victims that he don't want to put down, because they're innocent people. Like, he's picking up hobos and shit that they didn't hurt nobody, Though I will tell you this right now, and I'm not even considering this a spoiler because it happened so early on in the movie. This movie has the greatest opening line in the history of fucking movies.
Yeah. I ain't gonna suck your dick. That's the first line of the film.
Now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you will not understand what's going on there. But trust me, in the context of the movie, it makes perfect sense. But it is a glorious opening line. I'm just imagining the screenwriter writing the script, and that's the first thing they put down.
Yeah. Like a man sips through garbage. A light comes at the end of the tunnel. It's a car. A man opens the door. The man going through the garbage gets in. Cut. We are in the car, in the highway. One man turns to the hobo turns to the other man and goes, "Not gonna suck your dick."
Yeah. And that actually starts what is one of my favorite aspects of this movie, is that even though it is a very dark and brooding mumble gore movie about family shit, like really dark family shit, it's actually got a really dark sense of humor throughout most of it.
Oh yeah.
Like mostly in the way it's edited and the way like things happen. It's it's done for maximum comedic effect. Which is needed because this movie is really dark and depressing at times.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, we have apparently been making a couple weeks of movies about people who live in families that they should probably leave behind.
Yeah, we've got 2 vlogs we're going to record after this, and both of them have the theme of just fucked up families. It just seems to be a thing, which is, appropriate given that it's the Christmas season and everyone has to deal with their own fucked up family. So
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and this is almost a Christmas movie.
Yeah, we did not plan this. It just happened to be a movie that was hitting Shudder this week, and we're like, oh, we'll check it out. We did not realize that it actually was a Christmas horror movie, only kind of.
Only kind of, yeah.
Kind of. We'll talk more about it in the spoilers, but there is a point in which they're opening presents by a Christmas tree.
Yes.
So, it is kind of a Christmas horror movie, kind of.
Yep. One of the things I kind of like is how, all 3 of the main characters are emotionally stunted.
Oh, yeah. Ways. You get this impression that, in different ways, all of them have been shut off from the world. Which, the fact that this is set in Utah makes a lot of sense. The way, a lot of Mormon families are raised and things like that. Because, I got the kind of impression, especially from the way the sister reacts to the idea of a prostitute even existing in the world.
Yeah.
That they come from one of those kinds of families, you know.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder, like, what happened to the parents?
Oh yeah,
you know?
I was.
They don't tell you that.
Yeah, some things are left open ended. Like, first off, you never find out like how the brother got his condition. You never find out what happened to the parents or why the brother and sister are left to take care of the brother on their own. And you do find yourself wondering those things. And I kind of go back and forth on whether or not it would have been better if they answered it, because I'm not sure if any answer they would have given would have even mattered.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially since this was obviously a writer or a filmmaker, like, who decided that they wanted to explore a very specific idea, which we'll get to the spoilers what that idea is. And they do explore it to its ultimate conclusion.
Yep.
It's not a gory movie, but it's a bloody movie.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of entrails, but there is a lot of blood spillage.
Yeah, there's a lot of red.
Yes, a lot of red. A lot of that gooey red stuff.
Woo!
Yep. This movie has a nice sense of humor that balances it out, so you might be able to handle it if you're having a shitty time this holiday season. But just in case, if you're having a really shitty time this holiday season, you might want to pick a more cheerier movie.
Yeah. There's definitely, like, one of the reoccurring themes of the dang thing is that the brother, who's just the oldest brother, who's kind of the main character.
Yeah, he's the one we follow the most.
Yeah, you know? You're watching this guy, like, struggle with leaving or not several times in the movie, and you're just like, dude,
you gotta get out of there.
Just go.
And there's multiple times throughout the running time, and if he had, there would be no movie. But there's multiple times throughout the running time where he has the opportunity, and it's the perfect opportunity. But, like, you know, something happens, and he has to go take care of his brother, or he starts worrying about his sister, or, you know, anything like that, and he ends up, like, taking the other option, and you're just like, no, man, don't do it.
Get the fuck out.
You still have your soul. This family is sucking your soul out. I mean, you're still a murderous monster who's killed multiple people over and over again. So,
but you get the feeling that he is a killer, but he probably wouldn't kill under other circumstances.
He's kind of like the hitman who's reached the end of their shelf life and is done with the killing.
Yeah. Just can't do it anymore.
Yeah,
I've
given up too much of my soul, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of like at that point in his journey. And he's also the other reason why I think he's the main character, not only because we follow him the most, he's also the one that has the most tangible character arc. The little brother has a character arc, but the sister is mostly static.
Yeah.
You know, because the sister, she's kind of like an obstacle for most of the story. Like, you know.
Yeah, she's an obstacle for both of the other two.
You know, she represents the no, we're sticking with the family, we're sticking together, and we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. That is our existence.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because the relationship on the surface, the relationship is that the older brother and sister are enabling the younger brother.
Yeah.
But in fact, both of the brothers are enabling the sister.
Yeah. She's very controlling, and there's a scene where she's like yelling at the little brother, and even though I'm sitting there going like, well, the sister's kind of right given your condition, I was sitting there going, yeah, but I'm still kind of on the brother's side because she's being such a bitch about it. Yeah. You know, it's like
she's so cruel about it.
She's technically right, but she's so mean you don't want her to be, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those situations. You're just like, you actually can't go outside for reasons we'll talk about. And it is dangerous for you to go out in the world, and you can barely fucking move. So,
yeah.
Like, it's not like you're going to get very far unless you're driven around. So like it's like, oh, she's kind of right, but at the same time, come on, like, he just wants to go out and meet people, you know? Like,
yeah,
he wants to experience some life. He's trapped inside in darkness all day.
Like, and like the thing is that, like, that's another good reason why this movie is about Utah, because in any other urban area there would be something to do at night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even during COVID.
Yeah, but you definitely get the impression that they're in a part of Utah, which I know it was filmed in Salt Lake City. I don't know if it was supposed to be set in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, it's definitely filmed there, though.
But it's definitely filmed there. But they're definitely in a part of, if they are in Salt Lake City, a part of town where nothing happens at night. Like everyone just goes to bed and shuts down, like a suburban neighborhood usually does.
Yeah, there's some places that are like that.
But they're a little bit more in the boonies. Like it's a suburban neighborhood, but it's a little bit more rural than you normally see.
Yeah, they live like they don't have any. They barely have any neighbors.
Yeah,
like they're just
you
way
get like
out there off the beaten path.
There's some points where you like see like Dwight driving around in the car, and you get an idea of the neighborhood, and it's definitely small town.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Small town.
Nearest neighbors at least like a block away.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. It's also a movie where you're gonna feel bad for every single victim of this family. Like every single one, I was just like, no, prostitute lady, don't, no, hobo guy, run away.
Yeah,
this bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
So you're definitely your heart's gonna be pulled every time one of them die. That's in between laughing. With some of the funny bits.
The thing I liked about it is it went to some very strange places.
Yeah.
This we're giving you the outline, and you probably are like, oh, I know exactly where this is going. No. You probably gotten about half of it. The rest of the rest of it, the part that you couldn't be expected to get, is kind of what makes the movie worth watching. This is what makes it interesting. Yeah,
which we'll say it right when we get to after the spoiler section. So if you want to stay a little bit after spoilers just to find out about that, that's fine. Yeah. But for the sake of the people that are going to be going in blind, I don't want to.
What?
Hey, buddy.
Yes, cat.
Hey, buddy.
Meow.
We're doing a vlog right now talking about a movie. You just tragic and sad. Oh, I know. It's so sad.
It's horrible.
I just fed him like 30 minutes ago, so I don't know what's up.
This is a lie.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him.
Yeah, you busted, dude.
You're busted.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you fucking scratched the carpet. Yeah, that's right.
Got him a scratching post, and he still goes for the carpet.
Oh yeah.
Like, anyway,
it's got more than one.
Anyway, once we do the spoiler section, we'll say immediately afterwards what the for lack of a better way of putting it, what this movie's hook really is. But I don't want to spoil it for the people that are going to go in blind, because this movie's a fascinating movie, and it's kind of fun to go in and see where it goes.
For certain where it's going.
Because that was part of my fun watching it, was going I don't know.
Are they? Yeah, you spend the whole time going, are they going to do this or not?
Is this what's going on? And then you watch and you get more clues, and you go okay, this might be what's going on. Oh no, it's actually. It is this. Okay, and then you know, and I kind of like that journey, and I don't want to take that away from anyone. So. We'll talk about that when we get right after the spoiler section, if you just need to know.
Yeah.
But anyway, a couple warnings though. It is a very slow movie. It is very much like a mumblegore style horror movie, where there's a lot of really slow scenes of characters just kind of. Meditative's a word.
Yeah.
There's a scene where for example, I like the scene, but there's a scene, for example, where a character just kind of strums on a guitar for what felt like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the scene because I started jamming out with him while he was playing, but I could see someone go I'm just waiting for something to happen.
It's not an action-packed film.
But the thing is, this slowness actually kind of adds to the movie to a certain extent, because it kind of shows you just how dull life has gotten.
Yeah.
Even though they have these bursts of excitement. It increases this feeling of no, you need to get out of here.
Yeah, because the only thing interesting that's happening is the fact that you're murdering
exactly.
people.
Part of it is because the world, life is feeling kind of dull and suffocating, and you are murdering people, so why not escape to Miami?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is where he wants to go. There's this whole thing with Dwight where he wants to go to the beaches of Miami because he's never seen the beach before.
Yeah,
Welcome to Miami.
Every time I hear the end of the movie, kind of depressingly funny.
Yeah, which we'll talk about when we get to the end. I can't hear the word Miami without thinking of the Will Smith song. It's just
Miami.
It's in my blood. Anyway, my fellow gorehounds, this is currently available to watch on Shudder. I think it might be on some other platforms, but you're going to have to pay to rent it on other platforms. So if you have a Shudder subscription, you might as well watch it on there.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a Shudder subscription, I highly recommend you get one because it is a phenomenal service that provides you a shit ton of horror films, all at your beck and call. And we're not sponsored by them, but we are big fans. So
maybe we should hold back our praise, make them pay for it.
Make them pay for
Make
it?
them pay for
Make
it.
them pay for it? Oh, yeah. Pay us. Pay us, Shudder. Anyway. And with that said, any final non-spoiler thoughts before we move on to the spoilers? Or?
No. The only problem is that I feel like this is one of those movies where if you don't eventually tell people the hook, they don't. There's no point to watch.
Well, that's why I'm gonna do it right when we get to the spoilers. Like that way, some people, if they want to watch a little bit past the spoilers, they'll get the hook.
Yeah,
and then they could stop there if they want.
Yeah. Because I mean, I'm sure there are a bunch of people who are like, okay, well, they said it was good, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, let's check
it
out. I don't think it's only people. There's no animals killed in this, right? I don't remember.
I don't remember an animal being killed.
I don't remember an animal being killed either. It's just people. All people who don't deserve it. So prepare to have your...
I mean, there are... Oh, no, wait. That was the other one. Never mind.
Yeah, there is dead animals in some of the other ones.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers.
So basically, the little brother is the world's shittiest vampire.
Yeah. He's basically got a condition that's kind of he's anemic, but he actually needs to ingest blood. Yeah. But it makes it so he can't move around. His muscles don't work quite right. It's almost like he's got rigor mortis or something.
Yeah. No, maybe that's the idea.
Maybe that is the idea.
Maybe, They don't explain how he came by this.
Now, it's very obvious the brother and sister do not have it.
Yeah.
Just the little brother has it for whatever reason, but they know what he has. And so they feed him blood every night. And so that means every few nights they have to go find a person in order to, refill their blood supply.
Yep.
And it's usually a person that people aren't going to care about or forget. So they go for, homeless people, or they go for prostitutes or people that cops aren't going to care about,
Yeah.
Which is a sad state of America, but that's the truth. That's the way things are.
And sunlight will kill him.
Yes, so he can't go outside, which is why, the sister being very, very fucking firm on, no, you can't go outside. You can't go meet those kids and play with them while they're playing their sports outside. You can't do any of that shit. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Even though she's being a bitch about it.
Yep.
It makes perfect sense. She's acting like a wicked stepmother, even though she's technically right. That's what she's acting like.
Yeah, but probably the cruelest thing that she does is to the older brother.
Mm.
That is by far the cruelest fucking
yeah. So she finds out over the course of the movie. By the way, if you just wanted to stay for that one little spoiler about the actual hook, you might want to stop now because we're going to start getting into other shit that happens.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the brother, he sees a prostitute regularly. It's obviously his release. He goes and he pays for this one prostitute.
This is where he feels humanity.
Yeah. And he sits there and he pays extra so he can sit down and talk to the prostitute for extended periods of time. And naturally, by doing that, he kind of develops an affinity for that prostitute, one that might border on...
he gets a little romantic. Yeah, that's not unusual.
It's not unusual at all. It is very unclear, though I did not necessarily get the impression it was reciprocated.
Not particularly.
You get the impression for a bit, but then it's time's up.
There's kind of a limit.
Once the timer runs out on the clock he paid for, then that turns off and she's back.
Just
business as usual.
Business as usual. Yeah, but how to put it? We're not one of the things I like about this is that the older brother, the main character, is not a particularly charming or likable person.
No,
he's just kind of vaguely inoffensive.
He's socially stunted. That much is obvious.
Yeah.
He has trouble talking with people, and he's very reserved, and he doesn't know what to do with himself if he doesn't have something.
Yeah,
to,
he currently has like nothing to offer another human being.
Yeah. And it's very obvious that part of that is because for whatever reason he's been stuck with this family for a long time. So I'm assuming when their parents were around, they stayed shut-ins too.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know?
They make a big deal of the fact that they've homeschooled the little brother.
Yes, because he is not very world.
Yeah, and the thing
like,
is,
he doesn't
like this little brother is like he's got to be like 19.
God, what's that phrase? Like word, where you know a lot.
He's not very streetwise.
Streetwise is a good word.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
He's not very streetwise. He's not very knowledgeable. He's not even very well book read. You get the impression that he was educated like the kind of shitty homeschooled Christian education that some people get in America.
Yeah.
Where like they don't even tell you shit like for example, there was actually a streamer I watched who had this moment where he was just like, wait, there are multiple crusts in the earth, and it was just like,
whoa.
All this stuff he didn't know about the tectonic plates and shit like that because it was never taught to him because he had one of those homeschooled Christian fucking upbringings.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, so he didn't know the difference between the crust and the mantle.
Yeah, because he didn't know how earthquakes work. I forget exactly what it was. It was this whole fucking thing.
Ouch.
Yeah. And like it was. Yeah, and this guy is just like that. He's like obviously doesn't know shit, and the rest of the family you don't get the impression do either. To be honest,
no, they're not. They're obviously not like fantastically educated. either.
No. So you can tell that this shut-inness has been passed down even before the brother had this condition, and even then, I don't know. Maybe it was a condition that runs in the family, and there's always one. You know?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, we don't know. They never explain where it comes from.
You know, but it's the shittiest word. It's the world's shittiest vampirism.
Yeah, you're sort of like, wait, so you gotta drink blood, you could die in sunlight, but you're so weak you can't just stalk the night as a badass?
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's awful. I'm like, oh man, this is the most unromantic vampire movie ever made, and the unsexiest.
Yeah.
But one thing I like about the prostitute subplot, because basically the sister ends up going after that prostitute and using her as one of the blood vessels for the little brother, much to the other older brother's dismay. But like what makes that subplot, like what I love about that subplot is that weirdly enough, the prostitute as well as Eduardo, the immigrant,
the Mexican guy,
the day laborer guy, but they kind of represent humanity.
Yeah.
So like
they're like even though they're like these people on the outskirts of society, they're like regular people.
Yeah, well, exactly, because like Dwight's interactions with them are the moments where his humanity actually comes out. So like these people that are on the lower reaches of society, they're the ones that bring the humanity out of this like suburban living fucking like shut-in guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of like that. I kind of like that approach.
I particularly love the twist that the brother starts kidnapping people. So, and keeping them in the shed, just so he has someone to talk to.
Yes, which is so fucked up when they reveal that he's in the fucking shed, and you're like, oh god.
Oh my, yeah, you're like, oh crap. Oh, and I love the whole scene where like the character of Eduardo does not speak English.
Yeah,
and the main character certainly does not speak Spanish.
No.
But they translate everything that he says for you. So.
And you're watching
the miscommunication happen.
Whereas Eduardo tries to explain something, and Dwight, the main character guy, he's like he thinks he's reading what the guy's saying correctly, but it's completely off. It's completely wrong.
Yeah, he's completely wrong.
And you're just like, oh god, this hurts. Yeah. The other thing I like is that the slowness of the movie, which is something I would warn someone about, obviously, going into the movie, but the slowness of the movie also works in the movie's favor because it means the sudden bursts of violence when they happen really hit hard.
Yeah,
you know, because it's just like, because it does not shy away from the violence once it happens.
No, but I was really fucking I was really interested in the fact that when the violence happens, for the most part, they use these very claustrophobic shots.
Yeah.
There's just everyone's just crammed into one scene, and like the camera barely moves.
Well, I don't know if it was the intention, but it gives the vibe, especially whenever you're following Dwight, that like Dwight is stuck in this.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what he's stuck doing. Like,
there's nowhere to move.
This is all the only option he has is to kill. Because that's what his family demands. Technically his brother doesn't demand it, but the sister demands it. The brother actually, over the course of the story, kind of reaches a point where he kind of is ready to just go. Because he has this, the brother subplot, the little brother subplot involves him actually like sneaking outside and throwing a note in a paper airplane at this one kid that sometimes is playing ball outside the house.
Yeah, sometimes hanging out with other kids.
Because it is kind of a suburban neighborhood, but they're a little bit more spread out. So there's there's still courts.
Yeah.
This is where we find out that the sunlight actually does burn him. So you're like, okay, this is just straight up vampirism, but a really shitty version. And he tries to befriend this guy, but a couple things become very, very obvious as he starts talking to him. Is that first off, he thought that because they were young, they would all have something in common, but they come from some completely different worlds.
Oh yeah.
So there's they don't actually have a lot in common. But also, it becomes very clear that any friend he makes is going to be killed by his family, and that they're going to be put in danger as a result of that. And his attempt to go outside, when he gets the burns, also shows him that, oh shit, I can't actually do this. I can't go out.
Yeah.
This is fucking dangerous. So his journey over the course of the movie is kind of reaching this point where he's just like, no, I'm ready to go. Me staying alive is costing other people's lives and costing my family misery.
Yeah.
And I can't actually enjoy life in any way. I'm stuck in this dark room drinking blood, and I don't want to drink blood.
Yeah.
And I can't eat anything else.
Yep. Like I said, it's it's all the problems of vampirism, but you don't get to be a badass.
Every pleasure in life is taken away from me, especially because they kind of have that Mormon kind of shut-in thing going on. That also means that there's nothing to read, there's no TV, there's no nothing.
Yeah, he literally has nothing to do.
He's cut off from anything that might give him any sort of simulation.
Yeah, he he's reduced to collecting crickets.
Yeah.
That he finds in the house.
And playing this one organ, which is creepy as shit. Where they play this really lame game where they just try to guess the year a song was made. While they're playing on the organ, which is the kind of game that families will create, but usually for road trips. That's usually not the way you just spend your day.
Yeah. That's usually a one-off. Or something.
Well, it's usually like a road trip kind of game. Hey, turn on the radio and we'll play the game of, hey kids, guess what year this song came out?
Right.
You could see it being turned into that, but the fact that that's just his life is collecting crickets and doing that. And he can't do much else, So he reaches this point where he's just no, I'd rather not be alive than cause all this pain and misery and be like this. And I'll be honest, normally in these kind of stories, you're nah, man, you got so much to live for.
This guy got nothing to live for. It's oh man.
You go through this movie and you reach the point where I'm nah, man, you're that guy on their deathbed who's the rest of your life is just going to be pain, misery, and suffering. Yeah. If you want to go. Fair enough,
Just might as well let the dog next door rape you, I guess.
Yeah, well, jeez. What the fuck? Oh, I guess. And so he kind of has that little journey, which of course sets Dwight free. But then that leads to the bittersweet, kind of dark ass ending where he finally drives to the coast, right?
Yeah. Oh no, he doesn't drive to the coast.
Oh,
that's Salt Lake.
Oh, he drives to Salt Lake.
He drives to Salt Lake.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it's the closest thing he's ever seen to. This is when you realize this guy doesn't know what a beach really is.
Oh yeah, because it's not really a beach.
Yeah.
I was sitting there looking at it, going that's the shittiest beach in the world.
Yeah, it's Salt Lake.
Yeah.
It is.
It's just rocks, no sand.
Hey. Guess what it's got?
Rocks and salt.
Salt. A lot of salt. Guess what doesn't do too well in too much salt? Anything.
Yeah. Yeah, fair. And so he's like staring out at Salt Lake, and the movie ends there. And this is after like a whole bunch of series of events. Like the sister ends up getting killed by the brother's friend that he tries to befriend. Because the sister is going to kill him, you know? So he defends himself.
Yeah, so he defends himself, and this is one of the things that it was so funny how quickly he actually did kill the sister.
Oh God, yeah.
Because you find yourself going, oh yeah, I guess they are just like people. They're not even like particularly exceptional people.
Oh yeah, well there's also the fact that like you could tell that he had, because that scene had built up. It's this really tense scene, where like the brother finds him, and the brother is going to kill him, but then the brother decides to let him live and like hides him in the closet when the sister shows up. But the sister shows up with a dead body, that they're going to drain to put more blood in. So the guy's sitting there in the closet, like watching all of this, and he's got the knife that he grabbed when the brother was going to attack him. And so it's just like I'm not surprised that the moment she opened that fucking closet, he just fucking shanked the shit out of her.
I like that.
I would do the same thing. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I also like the look of that shot.
Oh,
the way
yeah.
It was staged. You know, because there is a lot, anything that was shot in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And you can tell part of this is the location.
Yeah.
But they staged it like it was a stage play.
Yeah.
You know, like there isn't a lot of camera movement in those scenes.
True. Which also adds to the kind of like crampedness of Dwight, like the feeling in this existence that he's stuck in. You know, it just kind of adds to it. And same thing with the brother. The brother's also stuck. You know? Yeah. Little brother wants to fucking escape, go out into the world and do shit, but he can't because he's the world's shittiest vampire.
Yep.
Which I would have totally have. I almost wish that was the title of this movie. The
world's shittiest vampire.
Because you know how there's all those movies like My Best Friend's a Vampire, My Mom's a Vampire, My Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, or The Littlest Vampire. See, this movie should be called The World's Shittiest Vampire.
Well, actually, I got to tell you, sometimes because this thing is set in Utah, it makes me wonder if, like, the part of the genesis of this film is a bunch of people sitting around going, like, huh. So Twilight's basically Mormon vampires. That's not how I would envision Mormon vampire. It's this.
I don't actually know how much Mormonism, like, was an influence on this movie, but it felt like it, like, personally.
Well, it felt like somebody at least had some experience with Salt Lake City.
Well, especially since, like, friends of mine that have been in Mormon families, kind of the way this family kind of, like, operates a bit reminded me of, like, a darker version of that. Ooh. To a certain extent, you know?
Yeah. I don't
just without a mother and father.
Yeah, like, I feel weird saying this, but I'm like, there's a certain level of involved that I'm like, your family shouldn't be. Okay. This actually doesn't happen in the movie, but I felt like it was this close to happening. There's a point after the sister finds out that Dwight, the brother, has been sleeping with a prostitute, where she comes in and is just like, you know, we stick with the family. You're not going to leave, are you? And all that stuff. And I half expected she was going to be like, well, I can cater to your needs. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Like, I half expected her to pull some shit like that because this movie had gone so fucked up up to this point.
Yeah. It's like, are we going to get to the incest portion? Is there going to be an incest portion?
It didn't do it. It didn't go there. But if it had gone there, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Yeah.
You know? There's a tagline for you. I wouldn't have been surprised if there had been incest.
No, I wouldn't have either.
Oh man. So yeah, I dug this movie. It's definitely a slow movie, and it's definitely not going to be for everyone, but like, it was interesting seeing this movie explore its weird vampire concept.
Yeah.
And also, I just kind of enjoyed watching Dwight go through this journey of trying to escape his family, but kind of continuously, just when I thought I was out, they suck me back in, you know?
Yeah. This thing is definitely, like, you know, worth the rental.
Exactly. You know, this is the movie. If you have Shudder, it's totally worth putting it on Shudder. And if you can afford the rental, go ahead and rent it. Because it's really enjoyable. And especially, this is the perfect time of year to watch it, because apparently, in this family, they celebrate Christmas every month.
Yep.
So that's what we meant when we said that this is kind of a Christmas movie, because we see them celebrating Christmas. And so we assume, the movie
must be December. Yeah.
You know, until the little brother brings in his friend, and his friend's like, "Oh, you guys still have your Christmas decorations up?" And he's like, and the little brother's like, "Yeah, we just celebrated Christmas a couple days ago." And the guy's just like, "In April?
In April? Yeah."
And he's like, "Oh, we celebrated every month." So there's Christmas theming in this, but it's not really on Christmas. Which just kind of goes to show how weird this family is.
Yeah.
Like, what?
What?
What the fuck? But I will say this. As a narrative, it makes way more sense than the weirdness of, like, what was that one, Bloodhound we watched? I love that movie, but it was, like, really weird. The movie about the Fall of the House of Usher, where it's the brother...
Oh, yeah! Yeah! What? Yeah.
I was thinking of that movie a little bit while we were watching this movie, even though they don't really have any plot similarities other than the sibling part. But
they got a similar sense of humor.
Exactly.
But other than that,
but it's not as weird as that movie. Like, it's more fucked up than that movie.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
The Bloodhound.
The Bloodhound?
That's the Blood.
Yeah, the Bloodhound.
The Bloodhound.
Yeah, that was the name of that.
Dude, whoa. It's a weird one.
It is a weird one.
It's a weird one.
With a very long title that makes more sense when you see the movie and you realize it's the title of a song that they literally open the movie singing.
Yeah.
But the thing is that the lyrics of the song have this whole thing about, like, love that's controlling.
Yeah.
So it actually does make complete thematic sense.
Yeah, it does.
Especially when you reach the point where he's, like, belting out the lyrics and playing karaoke with their little homemade karaoke thing. Not homemade, but their little home karaoke
store set. Karaoke set.
Yeah. And he's, like, belting out the song, and the parts where he's singing the lyrics the angriest are the controlling parts, where it's just, like, you know... I'm like, okay, I get why this movie is called that. It
my
makes
heart
sense.
Doesn't beat unless you tell it to.
Yep. Or my heart can't beat.
My heart, yeah. Look, heart beat, tell it to.
Heartbeats?
Heartbeat.
Oh. Not every day you get to work in a Heartbeats
movie. Yeah, Heartbeats reference.
Not every day.
Nope.
Anyway, my fellow Gorehounds.
There'll probably be more before the day is through.
It's true. So anyway, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
You can find me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/count_Jackula. You can follow me on Twitter, Counting Jack, and you can follow me at Instagram at Satanic Jackula. Please come to the streams. I'd love to see you. We stream, or I stream. You stream, for I stream. 6 p.m. every Thursday and Sunday, Pacific Standard Time. Hope to see you there. What about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, then be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below with the hashtag #WorldShittiest. Just World Shittiest, because I don't want to spoil it for everyone in the comment section. But you know what the rest of it is.
Yes.
So comment below using the hashtag #WorldShittiest. That way I know, that way Jack knows, that way the world knows that you watched this vlog all the way through. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, we've got 2 more vlogs to record before we're done today, so we're going to get on doing that. So, peace out.